Well, I'm back in Muncie U-Pull. It's been about a month or two since I was here, and I took a video of this BMW E12, but for some reason the video didn't save. So I'm back again. Fortunately, the car's still here. This is a BMW 1976. I don't remember if this was a 3 or a 5 series. Here's the dealer plate frame that was on it. You can see this thing has been sitting in the shade somewhere for a long time. All the like moss and lichen growing all over it. The car originally had a aftermarket BBS front bumper on it that I took off and sold for a nice little profit because they didn't charge me hardly anything for it. Let's take a look under the hood. Okay, there it is. It's a 530. I think it's a 530i. And when I looked through it last time, they had a whole thing about the Motorola electronic ignition. They were obviously very proud of having electronic ignition, even though it actually still has a vacuum on it. I guess something about it's electronic. Who knows? Has these wheels, which are still on the car, not worth very much because I took one off and looked it up and found that they weren't worth a whole lot. That's right. This one is an automatic, which I'm sure is pretty uncommon, but not all that desirable either. Cluster's still in it. It's reading 117,000 miles on it. It's got wood veneer, all in terrible shape. Interior's all falling apart. Door panel's missing now. Yeah, it's pretty nasty inside here. Last time I looked through, I went through the glove box, but it looks like, other than this cleaner stuff, all of that stuff's gone. It's got a factory cassette deck, air conditioning. It has these gauges over here. Oil pressure and voltage. So when I went through the glove box, before it didn't save the video that I took, thanks phone, there was, like I said, there was literature on had the original owner's manual, had literature on the Motorola electronic ignition. It also had, I opened it up, and it was a bunch of medals, like for, you know, high school swim. And they had, one of them had a date on it, and it said 1912, which is pretty amazing to find. I mean, this is a 1970, what, 76. So somebody who was in high school in 1912 put their medals in the glove box. At least I assume it's 1912. And left them in there, and then this car sat under some shade trees for a long time. I'm sure whoever earned those medals passed away a long time ago, and those medals have been forgotten about. Last time this car was registered was 1995. So it's been sitting under, I'm sure it's been sitting under trees in the shade. It might not be under trees, it might be under in a barn or something for decades, and it's rusted out, covered in moss and lichen, and unfortunately it is not worth hardly anything. Definitely not worth restoring, although I'm sure some people are like, oh, save it, it's so valuable, blah blah blah, but it's not. It's rusted out, it's in terrible condition. has pile speakers, which that enough should be enough to say, hey, we should probably crush this thing. Independent rear suspension. Yeah, that was the wheel I took off, which it was a pain just to get that one wheel off, and then looked on the back, found the brand, and saw that it wasn't worth anything. Your full Menge has a maximum of 1,000 Ps, just in case you're wondering. I think this is an E12. I thought I looked it up and saw that it was an E12. Engine oil services. Einbreischoll single grade oil. Here's your emission system. Looks like some animals been living in here as well. Another reason why it's not in great shape. You'll notice that the door extends past where the window is. Kind of comes like that. It's kind of odd. Headliner's in terrible shape, along as the rest of the interior. I don't know what this little thing is on the dash here. And then right behind it is a big brother E30. But that's it. It's in its final resting spot. In a few weeks this thing will be crushed and shipped off to China so it can be turned into sheet metal for washing machines or galvanized steel fences or something like that. So say goodbye. Bye, car. Alright, here's the metal box from that BMW that I was talking about that I found in the glove box. You can see it's been sitting in the glove box for a while. It's like covered in rust and mold. Kind of gross, but these are the metals. They're a bunch of swimming metals. Wonder what this AAU age group. Nothing on the back. Nothing on the back. I think this is the one that had something on the back. It says boys 11, 8, 12, 200 meter. So I feel like it can't be 1912. That's like way too old. I don't know. Anyway, that's just some of the interesting things you find sometimes in junkyard cars. If you want to see more junkyard cars, subscribe to me on YouTube down below. There's also links in the description. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram.